I want to quickly talk to you about Chase checking accounts, and this will be a review of the bank's checking accounts. And it's important to understand that Chase is actually one of the largest banks, if not the largest bank in the nation. Okay, and so it's a way ahead in certain criteria when it comes to banking. Okay, ahead of Bank of America, ahead of Citi, and ahead of Wells Fargo. Okay, so let me give you a quick overview here. Let's first talk about the Chase checking accounts. And when it comes to Chase checking accounts, you do have a lot of choices. Okay, and so you have actually Chase total checking. So total checking is pretty good. I mean, I love total checking. And so basically, if you think about the total checking, this is good for you if you want a standard checking account with an overdraft program, and you can meet the requirements that are needed to avoid the monthly fee. Okay, and so basically there's a monthly fee of $12, but to waive it, you need to meet a minimum balance requirements of $1,500 at the beginning of every day, or have at least $500 in monthly direct deposits or keep an average beginning day balance of at least $5,000 across Chase accounts. Okay, and minimum deposit is zero. There's no minimum deposit, and but there is an overdraft fee of $34, and there is actually a sign up bonus of $300 actually. And so that's for Chase total checking. You also have Chase secure banking, and this is actually good for you if you want to avoid overdraft fees. Okay, and there is a monthly fee of $4.95, and if you want to waive it, you need to make electronic deposits into the account totaling $250 or more every single month. Okay, there is no minimum opening deposit, so that's really good. But also there is no interest that you will earn on balances. Okay, and there are no overdraft fees. And in terms of ATM fees, there is $3 fee at non-Chase ATMs in the U.S. and its territories, plus any fees from the ATM owner. So this is something to really keep in mind. So besides Chase Total Checking and Chase Secure Banking, you also have Chase Premier Plus Checking. Okay, so that's one of my favorite Premier accounts, by the way. So this account, the Chase Premier Checking, is great for you if you can meet requirements to waive the monthly fee and you want some free out-of-network ATM access. Okay, so basically the monthly fee is $25, but to waive it, you need to meet a minimum balance requirements of $15,000 or more across linked Chase accounts at the very beginning of every day, or enroll the account for automatic payments to a linked qualifying Chase First Mortgage, or be a current U.S. Armed Forces member or veteran. Okay, so that's really good. There is no minimum opening deposits. Okay, and there is actually they'll give you a little interest on balances, by the way. And in terms of ATM fees, you have 4 free ATM withdrawals per statement period at non-Chase ATMs. Okay, and in terms of overdraft fees, they're charging you $34 per overdraft, charged up to 3 times per day. No charge when the account is overdrawn by $50 or less at the end of the day. Okay, and then you also have the Chase Sapphire checking. So the Sapphire checking is pretty good also because it's actually great for you if you can meet steep minimum balance requirements, and you also want overdraft grace and free use of any ATM worldwide. So this is really good. Okay, and so basically for this Chase Sapphire checking, you have a monthly fee of $25, and if you want to waive it, you need to meet a minimum average balance requirement of, wait for it, $75,000. Okay, $75,000 or more across linked Chase accounts at the very beginning of every day. Okay, and so basically, if you can meet that, then you don't have to pay $25 at all. And also, there are no charge on overdrafts on the first 4 business days during current and previous 12 statement periods. And after that, The $34 per overdraft applies. Next, you also have the Chase private client checking. I'm still going through all the Chase checking accounts you need to be aware of. There are 5 types of checking accounts that Chase actually goes through. Okay. So the Chase private client checking is actually pretty interesting because you are talking to the private client team. Okay. And this account is best for you if you can meet, once again, steep minimum balance requirements and you want overdraft grace, free use of any ATM globally, and more extensive premium benefits. Okay. And so there is a monthly fee of $35. But if you want to waive it, you need to have you need to meet a minimum average balance requirements of wait for it, $150,000. So that's actually double what you have with what you have to meet with the Sapphire checking. So $150,000 or more across linked Chase accounts at the beginning of every single day. Or you can link a Chase Platinum business checking accounts. Okay. So that's an important element to think about. So basically, there is no minimum opening deposit, and the interest on balances is about 0.01%. Okay. And there are no ATM fees globally, and fees from ATM owner are refunded. So, but again, if you're a private client, not a problem. Okay. And it's the same thing for overdraft fees. So basically, Chase is not charging you anything on overdraft. And so on the first 4 business days during the current and previous 12 statement periods, and after that, $34 per overdraft charged up to 3 times per day, and no charge when the account is overdrawn by $50 or less at the end of the day. Okay. So the sign up bonus is up to $3,000. And so that's really good. And in terms of this account, you do have some premium features. And the premium features include waived fees for wire transfers, access to financial specialists, higher limits on ATM withdrawals, Zelle transfers, Chase quick deposits, and debit card purchases. So you have lots of possibilities with this card. So you can see that we're actually talking about Chase personal checking accounts. Okay, this is not for business checking accounts. So one thing I want to say here is that in terms of fees, let's talk about fees here. And in terms of fees, you have monthly service fees, overdraft fees, and then you have ATM fees. So there are three types of fees that you need to be aware of. Okay, with the Chase checking account. So when I talk about monthly service fees, the bank charges the following for its monthly service fees. And so this is pretty good. I'm going to put this on the screen so you can see it. So you have Chase, for Chase total check-in, you have $12. And this can be waived, no problem. If you meet actually some minimum balance, okay. For the Chase secure banking, you have $4.95. This can be waived also. You have the Chase Premium Plus check-in. Now the monthly service fees goes up a little bit, so $25. This can be waived also. You have Chase Sapphire check-in. $25 can be waived also. And finally, you have Chase Private Client check-in. $35, and this can be waived also. So this is for the monthly service fees. Next, you have the overdraft fee. So basically, I think as you've seen that when I went through the 5 types of checking accounts, you've seen that the overdraft fee is by default $34, okay, per instance, by the way. And they can charge that up to 3 times per day. So that's about $102 per day, okay? But some Chase checking accounts will waive that fee for you. So besides the monthly service fees and the overdraft fees, you also have the ATM fees, okay? And the cool thing is that although some accounts waive out-of-network ATM fees, Chase generally charges $3 per withdrawal from non-Chase ATMs in the US and its territories, okay? Plus any fees from the ATM owner. So that's something to really think about. Now, if you actually withdraw cash from outside the states and its territories, that fee is $5 per ATM withdrawal. Okay. So if you think about Chase checking accounts, their fees, how does it compare with other banks? They're pretty similar. Okay. Chase checking accounts fees and services are similar to those of other national banks such as Wells Fargo, Citi, or Bank of America. So the $12 monthly fee for Chase Total Checking is also what Bank of America, for example, charges for a similar checking account. Wells Fargo basic option is slightly cheaper at $10, and some other banks have a lower direct deposit minimum than Chase requires to have the monthly fee waived. So if you think about Chase checking accounts, what kind of strategy should you have this year? So how do you compare the best of the best? How do you actually make sure that you're making the right decision? Now, the best checking accounts let you earn interest and pay no monthly fees, right? So you have actually Chase direct deposit requirements for checking accounts. The cool thing about Chase is that the bank doesn't require you to have direct deposits in order to open or to have a checking account. But one way to avoid the $12 Chase monthly service fees on the total checking account is that basically you want to have at least $500 in monthly electronic deposits. Okay. You can meet this minimum by receiving electronic deposits from government benefit providers or payroll providers using the ACH system, the FedNow Service Network, the real-time payment network, or third-party services for payments to your debit card using the Visa or MasterCard network. Okay. And what about benefits for all Chase checking accounts? Well, one thing I want to say here is that you have free access to more than 4,700 branches and more than 15,000 ATMs. That's really cool. Okay. And the network actually reaches 48 states and is one of the largest in the US. You also have a Chase online and mobile banking. So I love that a lot. So through Chase mobile banking, for instance, you can check balances and pay bills. You can set up alerts via text and email. Okay. And the app also has a mobile check deposit feature. You also have Zelle. So this person-to-person payment service lets you send money online to friends and family, even if they use a different bank. It's actually free, and money often arrives within minutes. Okay. You also have Chase debit card with liability protection. You have a cardless ATM access. That's really good. You have long customer support hours. So Chase is actually will open their customer service line from 8 a.m. to midnight Eastern on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern on weekends. So that's really fantastic. Okay. You also have the Chase Disney debit card. This is really cool. It's available to Chase checking account members, excluding a Chase First Banking, Chase High School Checking, and Chase Secure Banking accounts. And it grants customers additional perks and savings on Disney theme parks, cruises, retail, and live entertainment purchases. So that's really cool. So when you think about the fees with the Chase checking accounts, you have to really understand that the fees are different based on the checking account that you have, right? And also how you use your account. Okay. So you have the monthly fee, you have the overdraft fee, you have the ATM fee. Okay. And basically, Chase actually doesn't have, as of the date of this show, a free checking account. There is no free checking account because almost all Chase accounts carry a monthly fee. However, there are ways to actually waive that fee, okay, such as by keeping a certain balance in the account or setting up direct deposit. So I think you should really go through that. And sometimes Chase wants you to use your bank card in over a certain number of transactions every single month, okay. And so the Chase actually doesn't have a minimum balance required to have a Chase checking account, but keeping a certain balance is one way to avoid, like I said before, a monthly fee on some accounts. Okay, For example, the $12 monthly fee applies to a Chase total checking, and you can waive that if you maintain $1,500 balance at the beginning of every single day. And also, Chase doesn't require direct deposits in order to open or have a checking account. So that's pretty good, okay? But it's just one way for you to waive the monthly service fee if you're able to have direct deposit. But you don't have to have necessarily the direct deposit before actually keeping an account with Chase. So you can see that Chase checking accounts are pretty cool, pretty decent, okay? And how does Chase premium checking accounts actually compare to other banks? Because when you think about Chase total checking or Chase secure banking, those are actually, I would say, those are not premium accounts, okay? But if you think about the Premier Plus or the Sapphire or the private clients, those are premium accounts. So Chase Premier Plus checking requires a $15,000 balance across linked Chase accounts to avoid the monthly fee. And this is actually lower than the $20,000 required by Bank of America's Gold Preferred Rewards account and the $30,000 required by Citibank's Citi Priority account to avoid monthly fees. And out of these accounts, Chase Sapphire checking requires the highest average balance, $75,000 across qualifying accounts. Think about that, $75,000, okay? And similar to the high-end Chase checking accounts, the premium Bank of America and Wells Fargo accounts offer some free use of out-of-network ATMs and complimentary services and products, including wire transfers and more, okay? And at $25, Wells Fargo Prime checking monthly fee is the same as what you have with the Chase Premier Plus checking and Chase Sapphire checking. And this is if you don't meet minimum balance requirements. Now, there are some additional benefits that you need to consider for premium Chase checking accounts. Okay, so Chase Premier Plus checking gives you access to a free free cashier's checks and money orders, and you also will not be charged by Chase for using an out-of-network ATM 4 times per month, and fees from the ATM owner or operator may still apply, by the way, okay? And Chase Sapphire checking actually will reimburse you for all ATM fees globally if you are a Chase Sapphire checking customer, okay? But Chase's higher end checking accounts also require much higher minimum balances to waive the monthly fee, okay? Compared to basic Chase checking accounts, if you can't meet them, the additional benefits that come with those accounts might not be worth it, especially when it comes to paying $25 a month or $300 a year, okay? So long story short, is the Chase checking account the right choice for you? Definitely yes, definitely yes. Chase checking accounts are generally a solid bet if you have easy access to their ATMs and can avoid the monthly fees. But some accounts have steep minimum balance requirements to avoid a monthly fee, and it could be more worthwhile to keep your money in a high yield online savings account where it can earn interest, okay? So if you're not in the Chase branch network, can't avoid the monthly service fees, or are looking to earn interest on your checking, you can actually go for a credit union or other top online banks, okay, to see how they compare to Chase. So in conclusion to this conversation, I talked to you about Chase checking accounts. I give you the overview, the fees, the strategy, and now the conclusion. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.